I am a University Studies student at ECU completing my practicum research project. I chose to make this video for my project because, like my unique thematic core of health and wellness studies, this alternative break was different and unique and it fit my situation perfectly. I came on this trip to diversify my thinking and experiences. I am from a small beach town, so to see all of the history and culture that Wilson offers was eye-opening. Before this semester, I did not have a clue about AmeriCorps, and now I have had the chance to see how much AmeriCorps has impacted a rural town like Wilson. I have also seen the great impact that AmeriCorps and this experience has had on me. Wilson applied for a grant that allowed 5 AmeriCorps Vistas to serve in Wilson. VISTA is an acronym for Volunteers in Service to America, and their end goal is to reduce poverty. The Vistas serve at Barton College, the YMCA, City Hall, the United Way, and at the Health Department. Some of their projects include increasing volunteer activity from the college, teaching all second graders how to swim, teaching young girls healthy snack choices, combating food deserts, updating 211 so that people are aware of local services, and implementing smoking cessation programs. The big picture of these AmeriCorps programs is to get to a place where these different service sites in the city of Wilson can operate these programs and alleviate poverty on their own. The Arts Council is very active in downtown Wilson. They are working to make this area more inviting. One way they have done this is by painting all of the fire hydrants. Wilson's vision statement is the crossroads of Southern charm and innovation. The Whirligig Park is the heart of Wilson's vision statement. On one side of the park, the street is dedicated to the arts. On the other side of the park, the street is dedicated to learning. The Whirligigs embody both art and innovation. The Whirligigs are beautiful pieces of art, but without science, they wouldn't spin correctly. The creator of the Whirligigs, Wallace Simpson, passed away in 2013, but not before he was able to see the first Whirligig be installed in the park. This very intentional park took 8 years and about $8 million to construct. The citizens of Wilson knew downtown needed to change, so they pulled together and raised all the money to make it the park it is today. The Whirligigs were installed in the exact way Simpson had them at his farm. Every inch of the park is intentional, from the placement of the Whirligigs to the concrete being laid and cut to resemble how the tobacco looked drying in the warehouses. This park will be home to festivals, concerts, and many farmers markets. In the future, the Whirligigs will turn into a makerspace so that this unique aspect of Wilson's culture can continue. The Buckhorn Water Reservoir is city-owned, and during times of drought, Wilson can sell the water to the surrounding counties. This provides some revenue for the city so that they can help their citizens in other ways. Wilson also has a city-owned fiber optic network called Greenlight. They have some of the fastest speeds in the country. This fact alone has brought many people to Wilson for business opportunities and to even edit major motion pictures. Since Greenlight is city-owned, people who need affordable housing through the Housing Authority can also receive Greenlight Internet at a reduced amount of $10 a month. This aspect made a huge impact to me because a child in poverty that has access to a computer at home has no disadvantage to a child that isn't from a low-income family. In a society that has become so tech-based, I think that internet plays a huge part in a child's life outside of school. This trip was an immersion experience. Myself and the other 4 students on this trip lived like a family in poverty. We had $7 a day for each person to feed us for the week. This is the typical amount that a low-income family survives on. We cooked meals together and then went to a local restaurant for dinner one night with the money we had left over from the grocery store. This experience put us in the shoes of a family in poverty. we were able to see just how far $7 a day goes. We went to an underserved area of Wilson and built raised garden beds on a lot donated by a community member. Once the planting season begins, this community garden will provide fresh fruits and vegetables to those in the immediate area. This will enable community members to cook with foods that are either unaffordable or unavailable. This community garden is one of many to help Wilson combat their issue of being a food desert. It has been very hard to keep grocery stores in parts of town, so people are limited in food sources, especially healthy foods. Without a car or transportation, it is hard to get to a grocery store, so a lot of people are doing their shopping at dollar stores. AmeriCorps is helping to address the issue of Wilson being a food desert by facilitating community gardens and having more farmers markets in areas such as the Whirligig Park. Healthy food choices are a foundation to having a healthy future. We went to the Wilson Soup Kitchen and were able to serve a hot, healthy meal to 85 people. It was such a pleasure to work with Miss Madeline and her team. It was eye-opening to see the amount of support this soup kitchen has. The whole operation is run on donations, from the building to the take-as-you-need produce and dry goods. The soup kitchen is a rock for those in need. All of the volunteers have so much respect for everybody who comes through the doors, and everybody leaves with a smile and a belly full of food.
They give us goldfish, they give us boxes of cookies, they give us crackers, they give us those things there. What's those? Cracker, yeah. Okay? People donate. Before, when we were at the other place, a lot of the food we had to buy. But when we moved here, I mean, these people that donate to this place, they love this place.
A privilege we don't normally think about is the privilege to have a trash can. Illegal immigrants aren't able to get a trash can, so they dispose of their trash on the side of the road or wherever they can. This, along with people mindlessly throwing trash out the car window, attributes to the large amounts of trash in the fields and forests. This trash then gets into the creeks and blocks the water flow, or even gets into rivers in the ocean. Trash affects our water quality and the aquatic ecosystems. The St. John Community Development Corporation established the Save a Youth program in Wilson. Save a Youth is an after-school program targeted for at-risk youth. The director, Dr. Bell, also owns the Jamaican restaurant in downtown Wilson called Say Yum. Some of the proceeds from the restaurant go to the Save a Youth program to help with funding. We were able to volunteer with the kids and put on a fun afternoon full of activities. 78% of the children in Wilson County qualify for free or reduced lunch. It is much easier to educate a child that isn't hungry. At the end of the day, these kids just want to play and have fun, and the Save a Youth program is a great outlet for this.
We went to do the community garden beds. My granny stays around the corner, so when I was growing up, I didn't think I lived in poverty.
Right.
I didn't feel like I lived in poverty, but I guess according to government salaries and those salary ranges, I guess I would say I lived in poverty. But I think it took me leaving and going to ECU
right.
and realizing that they're there for a reason. Mm-hmm. Even if they wanted to leave or they want to do better, they can't do better.
Exactly.
And so that's when I realized what poverty is. We're in poverty because they can't move up, they can't go to school, they can't get a better job because of where they are. And like you were saying, daycare does cost a lot. And if that's your whole salary, you can't go to school. You can't just take a part-time job and go to school part-time because it's hard. So I think poverty is just hard. Poverty is where we are right now. Even though Barton is in university, it's not university, but college, it's centered in poverty. You don't know that until you go outside of your school.
Right.
I think stemming off of that, You kind of get the same aspect in Greenville as well. ECU, the campus it's big, but it's closed off. And so when you're on campus, you don't really like think, oh, there's 10th Street right there, or there's this street right over there. Like, you kind of just feel like you're in this little bubble. And then you actually go downtown, you go to Dickens Street, and you see, you know, what normally you wouldn't see in normal downtown. And you do see the poverty. And a lot of students don't venture out onto that side of town. I guess the equivalent of what you guys have across the railroad tracks, or this is what I've heard. A lot of students don't go down there and don't serve, but those that do, like, I've got the Little Willie Center and worked over there with Campus Kitchen and stuff like that. You do see, you know, the kids that don't have food after school. They rely on like school to get their food, and you know, parents are working, and so yeah, I guess.
I feel like poverty is like, it's a lifestyle, because people will say it's a mindset, but it's not a mindset. I mean, a lot of people want, of course they, in their minds, want better, but they literally cannot do better. So it's definitely a lifestyle.
At the end of my week of service, I could definitely tell the difference that I had made in Wilson. I was also able to see the effect Wilson had on me. It has given me the best practicum experience I could have imagined. Going to Wilson opened my eyes to see a community very different from my own. In the future, I hope to work with children in some form, and this experience will help me connect with the children in a different way. Thank you to everybody who had a hand in this experience. I can't wait to see this alternative break experience grow and flourish.
Yeah, I don't
It has to be the real experience.